Dennis Muriithi is an agricultural engineer. He's also the CEO of Farming Wonder that has invented this Wonder multi-story garden. Mr. Dennis,
Hi.
thank you so much for joining Food Security System podcast.
Thank you.
It's such a pleasure to come to your farm, and you're doing such an incredible job.
Thank you. You're most welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So you did invent this.
Yeah. Farming Wonder.
Mm-hmm.
We are the innovators of the Wonder multi-story garden,
Okay.
which is a vertical garden.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We can say it's an upgrade from the traditional vertical bags,
Mm-hmm.
whereby we had a vertical service,
Mm-hmm.
and watering on a vertical service was a challenge.
Yes.
Yeah, because you would water on the vertical service and then water flowed away. Water is going to flow away. So the crops that will be on the vertical service will not receive enough water, and that will cause drying up. So with this multi-story garden, as you can see,
Yes.
it's in terrace form,
Yes.
whereby all your crops will receive uniform water, uniform manure. Yeah, because and also
Yeah.
each vegetable is going to receive sunlight uniformly, direct.
So something that you had told me when we were talking before the recording
Yeah.
was that there are certain vegetables or plants that you can plant here, but you can't plant here or plant here. Can you tell us why?
Okay. So with this multi-story garden, you can do a variety of vegetables.
Okay.
For instance, kales and spinach, and also amaranth. And you can also do corianders, and you can do a variety of vegetables. So I was saying that you can other farmers normally say I can plant kales on this terrace, I can do spinach here, managu there, but we normally advise, if you want to intercrop or to do different varieties,
Yes.
plant them from top to bottom,
Yes.
from top going downwards, because they all have similar characteristics,
Yes.
and no crop is going to bring shade on the other one. But if you plant different,
Yes.
they're going to shade the others.
So if I planted a different crop here and another one here, it's gonna affect the sunlight to the other, and therefore the production is not going to be optimal.
Yeah, depending with what you are going to plant. So it's normally advisable. You can divide it into two or even three, depending with how many varieties that you want to plant. Maybe you divide it by two. On this side, from top to bottom,
Yes.
you can plant kales. On the other side, from top to bottom, you plant spinach. Yeah.
So one of the things that I've gotten from you today is that you invented this because you are already doing the vertical gardens, which is literally like you can make it at home with a sack and you poke the holes.
Yeah.
That is what led you to this. Is there another challenge you found with the vertical gardens other than the fact that the water cannot seep through to all the crops?
So as you can see, we are located in Kiambu, where land is decreasing day by day because of increase in population.
Yes.
So we need to look for ways to maximize on the small spaces that we have. We start by building mansionettes, from now the bungalows, so that we can now maximize the small space, so that the house can accommodate maybe a bigger population on more rooms for the house, and also maybe have a space whereby you can have your own or a kitchen garden. The same case, we are now using the vertical service because we don't have the horizontal space. Yeah, there is somebody who told me that you are allowed to go upwards, but sideways you are going to collide with your neighbors. So in that case, people started becoming innovative to look for ways that they can maximize the vertical space.
Yes.
And that's when we started planting on the sacks, where we would perforate holes on the sides and then plant our seedlings.
Yes.
But the challenge was that it had a vertical service, where you would now make holes for planting, and while water would flow away. would not seeping the soil, and the vegetables that were on the vertical surface were affected. So we now saw another challenge was in that time, in that case, you would mix soil and manure in the ratio of 1:1. Because you would not, hungejua manure itakuwa kona gani ama mchanga itakuwa kona gani. So you had to mix the entire soil with manure. Yeah. And also so that was another challenge, because you required a lot of manure. And it was also labor intensive, and maybe it would also be costly. You're also going to buy the manure. So those are the challenges that now that led to us being more innovative and see how we can now upgrade the vertical bag to be more productive, yet also to be more or to have a more plant population. So that's when we came up with the idea of now doing the multi-story garden, where each plant will be independent, each layer will be independent, and each layer is going to receive water individually and uniformly. And also no plant is going to overshade the others. Yes.
Wow. Congratulations, you're doing
Thank you.
well.
And another thing, with this multi-story garden, you only require 3 buckets of manure or the planting mix that you're going to use, whether compost, whether biochar. Yeah, so you see, you're also saving on that cost.
Wow.
And the material that we are using, called the HDPE, which is UV treated, so it's going to last for over 10 years.
Wow.
Because the gardens that we are saying over 10 years, because we are already at the 10-year mark. So we have been farming.
You have been farming for 10 years?
Yes, because the innovation started back in 2013. So we are now 10 years in the business.
So you're not just telling people out of, oh, let me think. You're telling people from research.
From research and the experience that we have.
Had. So have you had any feedback from your, I know this, Mr. Kamwana, one of them is the one who referred me to you. Did you, what's the feedback from the farmers you have done?
So farmers are happy because we can farmers were experiencing many challenges, because in the cities or maybe in the areas around the towns where we have demand for the vegetables, hatuna hizo mashamba kubwa. So and the big farms are in the villages where you would become a telephone farmer because you also have another business. In that case, you made many losses because you were not able to manage your farm properly directly, and you would not know what is happening and at what time. So many people stopped farming because of that. And now if you have a technology that you are bringing now the big farm to the city, and also they make even more produce from the small space, I think it's a very big thing.
Wow.
Because with a 50 by 100 plot, you can do 100 of this, and with 100 of this, one has a plant population of 120, unlike the horizontal way, doing the conventional way where you could only plant 16 plants. So in terms of production with an eighth, you will be producing same as having 1.5 acres. Yeah. And also management is easy.
Of course.
Yes.
So you might think you're just showing us the garden here. There are no other vertical gardens around, and you may think, oh, you only have that. I'm going to take you to the garden, and you do not have an excuse for not farming. So let's go to the garden and see what Mr. Dennis has achieved with just, what size of the garden is that?
4.5 feet.
4.5 feet?
Yeah, 4.5 feet.
Yes.
Planting 120 plants.
Yes.
Where you could only do 16 plants.
Planting how many?
120.
Where you could only do
16 plants.
120 where you could do only 16 plants. But that farm, the size of that farm,
is about an acre.
quarter an acre. People, I'm going to show you what you can do with quarter an acre. Forget about quarter an acre. I'm going to show you what you can do with, this is 14?
4.5 feet.
4.5 feet. I'm going to show you what you can do with 4.5 feet to increase your food security. Number 2, you grow your own food. Off the record, Mr. Dennis and the farm manager were telling us of how people who are growing their own food for food consumption, for example, they would never eat spinach. I mean, sukuma wiki, those are collard greens, but now they are eating them. Personally, when I was doing my research from 2017 to now about food security systems, one of the reasons why a lot of Kenyans are not consuming collard greens is because it's giving them hyperacidity. I brought my sukuma wiki to a lady who said she does not eat sukuma wiki, but she ate mine. And now Mr. Dennis and the farm managers, they have confirmed my research. That means we don't have a problem with food, is how we are growing the food, and more specifically how we are treating our soil. True. So let's go to the farm and see what Mr. Dennis is doing. So this is what quarter an acre of land can do for you, and I am so grateful that you have welcomed us to your shamba.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can you kindly like show us as I move along, right? You have spinach on this side. You have spinach. I see you have demarcated, so to speak, because this is spinach side, and you have amaranthus, kales.
We also have herbs.
You have herbs. I see mint. I really like mint tea.
Yeah, we have mint. We have thyme. We have a variety of herbs.
Yeah.
We also have lettuce. You can also see lettuce.
Yes, I can see them. Here they are.
So you can do a variety of crops on the multi-story gardens.
Yes.
And also, as I was saying, there is something that we call companion plant.
Yes.
Companion planting is whereby you intercrop you intercrop with different crops that repel insects using maybe their smell or their physical characteristics. Maybe they have so there are different ways to control pests without using now the insects pesticides. So, and that is one of the ways, intercropping. So we call it companion planting. It's also intercropping, but now an advanced way whereby you plant crops that help each other to repel insects.
Help each other. So so like if you plant, say for example here you've planted
you have planted spinach. Yes. You can also add onions, spring onions, and coriander, and a bit of mint.
Yes.
That is going to help you reduce the amount of pesticides to use. Yeah.
And that means, of course,
the organic pesticides.
Yeah. and then you're also going to reduce what would I say, the cost of production.
Yeah, the cost of,
if you have too much pesticides, then that means you're going to incur a higher cost, of doing that. I was telling you of a story of someone who did a greenhouse for us.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
And because this person did not understand what mesh is for a net, they gave us a net that had 2 big holes, and therefore the white flies just got into the
greenhouse. In the insect.
Yes, and it became, because a greenhouse is supposed to minimize the cost of production in prevention of diseases and pests. Yeah. But now he just put an insect net that just.
I would say maybe in that case he gave you a shade net.
Yes.
But he was supposed to do an insect net, because we have different types of shade net.
Okay.
Because we have a shade net that is used for shading. We have an insect net which is now used to prevent
the insects from getting in
the greenhouse.
Yes.
We also have a bird net.
A bird?
A bird net.
Oh, nyoni.
Yes.
Oh.
Which you can use it to cover, but insects can pass through, sunlight can pass through 100%. But the only thing that you are preventing is now the birds. So they are different.
So
and also,
sorry.
yeah, it depends with the purpose.
Ah.
And also there are different nets with different percentages. There is a net that is a 50% shading, and another one has a 30% shading. So it depends with the purpose of the shade net.
Oh.
Yeah, so you should know what you are planting and the purpose of now of the shade net that you
So then that will lead you to purchase what you need to purchase.
Yes.
So is there a reason why you have spinach and they are so fresh, man?
Yeah.
There's nothing I love like the fresh of smell vegetables.
And another thing, they are soft.
And they are soft, I can tell.
Yeah, soft and sweet.
Yeah, I can tell. I'm gonna carry some.
Yeah, you had said about people nowadays. Most a big number of people are not taking cares.
Yes.
Because it's because of the acidity that it's in cares. And if you grow your cares organically, they are not going to be bitter and hard.
True.
Juu hutatumia hizo pesticides. The reason unapatanga imekauka sana, it's because you are using more pesticides, more fertilizers, and others. Maybe they are grown along a sewer line.
True.
So
it's very true.
It's also a cause. And there is a time we was in the news, it was trending that our sugar has mercury. Our sugar has mercury. I would tend to imagine how can someone mix mercury with sugar?
Yes.
It's not logical. So to my understanding, after having farmed for a few years, I can say a few years.
Yes, 10 is not a few years. 10
a few years. So I came to learn that our crops normally absorb everything or what you are giving them
from the soil.
Yeah. So in the issue of the sugar canes, I would tend to think that the sugar canes were grown along a sewer line in an industrial area.
I see.
Whereby now the sugar cane took in the heavy metals. So ikienda kupimo itapatikana iko na mercury.
Unashangaa, did they put the mercury? It's where it was grown.
It was where it was.
There was actually a study that was done in Nairobi that showed that a lot of kales in Nairobi, they have heavy metals. True. Because they are grown along that. And no wonder we are having a problem because what you consume, number one, I always say that your soil is your nutrients. The nutrients come from the soil. So if your soil is degraded, it doesn't matter how big. Of course, it's not even going to be big.
It's not even going to grow.
It's going to look terrible.
It's also going to be affected by diseases because it's also not going to be strong enough to repair, to be a disease resistant. So you're not going to have a good harvest or maybe good produce.
Yes.
Because we start other than now using the multi-story gardens.
Yes.
We also need to know how we are going to treat our soils and what to use in our soils. For instance, let me show you with this garden.
Yes.
As you can see, I'm not even forcing that much to dig.
Yeah.
Our soil is very soft.
It is. I can confirm it's very soft.
It is very soft.
Yes.
And this is going to help your roots to penetrate easily.
And therefore getting the nutrients without a struggle.
Without a struggle. Yeah. It's because of the mix that we have used here. We have a product that is called the Pure Plant Soil Amender, which we have used here.
Yes.
It helps your soil to remain well aerated.
Yes.
It keeps moisture.
Yes.
Also holds nutrients and releases into your soil slowly by slowly. Yes. And another good thing, it does not decompose.
How is it that it does not decompose?
Decompose.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's biochar-based soil amender,
okay.
which already is charged with nutrients.
Nice.
So your soil is going to remain healthy for years.
Yes.
Hundreds of years.
Hundreds
of years. It's a long-term
solution.
investment.
So and what I learned with this biochar.
Yeah, biochar. Yeah.
What I learned about it is you're using the husks.
Yeah.
The rice husks.
Yeah.
That means you're also like contributing to
waste management, and at the same time mitigating climate change. Because after making the biochar, biochar is very good in carbon sequestration. Yeah.
Wow.
Because we are not storing carbon back into the soil. Yeah.
Wow. I don't have any words because what I have learned here today is a lot.
Yeah.
We are going to move a little bit to the other end, so that Dennis can show us. He did one thing I like about farming is that when you are doing it practically, you get scientific information that otherwise you wouldn't have if you were not doing it. So Mr. Dennis has farmed for 10 good years. Right, I'm going to show you, he is farming things that we have been told in Kenya cannot grow. He's farming strawberries. Unfortunately, today we have found he's out of berries, but I can still see the plant is there. So next time we're gonna come and carry the berries. He has, I mean, if you look at his farm, I don't know, maybe we'll have another time where we can come and go through every plant that he has planted. But for now, I'm going to take you to where he has done a bit of research. He has experimental part and he has the control part. And people, as Africans and Kenyans, this is what we need to do. We need to get, I'm going to wear my gumboots so that you can see we are very serious. I'm going to wear them and we need to get to the farm and farm for ourselves and increase our bioavailability of nutrients. Otherwise, we're gonna have problem with heavy burden of curative services, which is seeping into and reducing the economic capability for our country to grow. So we do not lose when we farm for ourselves. Let's go to the other side. So people, my gumboots are on and I'm ready to farm. Are you? So Dennis is just smiling because he knows farming is not about wearing the gumboots. It's about research, okay? And getting into research. So Dennis, please tell us what you have been doing here and here.
Yeah. So here, as you can see, we have, this is strawberry.
Yes.
This is, we call it Chandra. Chandra is the the variety of the strawberries that we have grown. And we have grown on a 3 terrace multi-story garden. And 3 layer multi-story garden. And they are same. They are 2 rows. And here we are experimenting on the effectiveness of using now the soil amender, which is biochar based, the one that I was telling you. So this row, as you can see, this one is treated with biochar, and that one we have just used the normal manure. And as you can see, they are different. With this row, they are green, and they have all grown uniformly. Unlike this one, many of them dried up. As you can see, we have gaps there. And as we move, you see, this one, this row has already started removing the runners.
Wow.
By removing these runners, it means that they are multiplying.
Wow.
Yeah. Unlike this row, there are no runners.
I can clearly see that there are no runners.
There are no runners. And
they have actually many runners.
Yeah.
This is one, another one, another one, another one, another one. Wow.
And this row has many fruits. Unlike that one. So this shows that biochar is really working. Yeah, it's really working. It's amending the soil properly. And the reason that you see these ones have grown well is because the soil is well aerated. The soil is well moist. And also if the soil was acidic, it's now not
acidic.
It's not acidic compared to that one. So this shows you that your mix or your soil plays a very big role in what you are doing in terms of when it comes to farming.
And it confirms what I say. nutrients come from the soil.
Yes.
And when you did that technology,
the soil
amender,
yeah,
when it aerates and it makes the soil moist,
yes,
it makes it
fine, aerated.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the roots go deeper, and that's
The roots are able now to penetrate easily. And also because it's also stores moisture, and so it is creating a good environment for the roots and for the plant as well. So the plant is going to grow strongly, and it's also going to be disease resistant because it's strong. Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
So people, you can clearly see the difference. Okay.
Yeah.
So how you manage your soil matters.
Yeah.
How you manage your soil,
Yeah.
it does matter.
True.
Because if you look on this side, you can clearly see their patches. And this is what farming is about, by the way. It's not just getting the gumboots on and the djembe and you go. You must have scientific information that is going to help you grow your food the right way, and also maximizing on productivity.
Yeah, we normally say doing it right from the start.
Wow.
Whereby you first by doing a soil test.
Yes.
After doing a soil test, you are able to know your soil analysis or the condition of your soil. And from the analysis, now you are able, maybe if you have the expertise of now be able to analyze your results, or maybe by the help of an agronomist, he's going to advise you on what to use and in what quantities.
Wow.
So also you are not going to spend more or even spend less on your soil, because you'll be knowing what your soil needs. Exactly what your soil needs, also depending with what you are growing. Yeah.
Dennis, I want you to tell us one thing, okay? Like your last words.
Yeah.
Because we are actually out of time. Like we came here at 6 in the morning. We are still here because the place is so fresh. I'm literally breathing oxygen. There's no pollution here. It is carbon in, oxygen out. It's so amazing. It has been such a pleasure having Dennis Muriithi in my podcast.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for watching and listening. Dennis, please take away your last words.
Okay, so what I would say, recently we have been been affected by we can say climate change, and climate change has come to has resulted to also diseases affecting us human.
True.
Because lifestyle diseases like cancer, like blood pressure, like diabetes are brought by what we feed or what we are eating. So I would advise, we normally have a slogan that says, why buy what you can grow? Why buy what you can grow? Yet you have a small space. You can have one multi-story garden, 2 or even 3, and maximize your small kitchen garden to be more productive and become your own pharmacist. You don't have to go to the pharmacist to buy medicine.
Yes.
Because you are going to prevent that by growing your own vegetables, healthy organic, fresh vegetables. Utasema kwa heri. And let's all become pharmacists.
Yes.
And open our own food pharmacies at home.
Yeah, Mr. Muriithi, it has been such a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for welcoming us here. And people, please, let's get in there and farm. Bye-bye for now.